Yo guys, what is good? This is Games Techno and here we are testing a Resident Evil Village demo. And in this video we're going to be testing the castle demo, and I'm posting another video in which we're gonna test the village area, of course, of the demo. Now, there are a couple of things that I want to talk about. I mean, not a couple of things, just a thing. There was a little bit of a, I ain't gonna take that much of time. There was a little bit of confusion in the release time of this, demo thingy, and I was quite, there was a confusion and it was quite confusing. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Now we're gonna talk about this confusion thingy at the end of the video because I don't want to take your time or anything. So yeah, let's just, let me tell you about the video's layout. Now, the first thing after this intro, of course, you're gonna see is the graphics setting of the game, which is basically 720p lowest settings. But if you wanna get to the nitty-gritty stuff and see everything, which slider is at what, you can see that in the settings section of this video. Of course, YouTube chapters are provided, so you can, easily navigate through the video. And the next section of the video is going to be the gameplay part. Now, in this gameplay part is going to be a little bit different than the traditional style, as I've mentioned in the previous videos, of course, as well. There ain't gonna be no FPS counters or anything, like the typical stuff that you see. There ain't gonna be no counters, though. Because of that, you're gonna be able to see the real performance. Your eyes ain't gonna be stuck at the FPS numbers. You're gonna see how the game freaking runs, if it stutters, lags, all of that jazz. If any of those things is happening or not, you can concentrate on the gameplay. You can see what things are going on in the game. Concentrate on the narrative even maybe, but so that you don't get obsessed with the FPS. Of course, I'm gonna give you the FPS numbers. Now that is going to be the last part of the video. That is the verdict. Now in the verdict, I'm gonna tell you, of course, about the average FPS. The 1% lows and everything. Though I'ma also tell you about the CPU usage, the RAM usage, VRAM usage, so you don't have to give a damn about not getting those FPS numbers in the gameplay. You can just enjoy the gameplay, see if it stutters, see if it lags, and of course my voiceover is gonna be there with you guys. And in the end, we're gonna see all the numbers and everything. We're gonna talk about it. Yeah, let's get it. Man, I think that's a red brat thingy. Okay, so here we are in the graphic settings of the game. So first off, we've got the display mode that is at full screen, and of course we've got color space that is at sRGB. Now after the display mode, we've got the screen resolution that is at 1280 by 720. I mean, I can't bear with anything lower than this. Even if I have a 750 Ti in my system and it's the only GPU I have, I still cannot bear anything below this thingy. 720p, no, I just can't bear it. Now moving on to the refresh rate, 60 Hz. Of course my monitor is 60 Hz. In the refresh rate department, frame rate is set to variable, VSync is off, the rendering mode is set to normal and not to interlaced, which is poorer quality. The image quality is set to 1, that means no downscaling, upscaling, nothing. And next we've got Fidelity FX CAS, that is turned off. Anti-aliasing is set to TAA because we can do with it, and I don't think there is an option to turn it off or anything. Let's just check. No, there's no option to turn the anti-aliasing off, so we just stick with TAA. And then the texture quality is at medium, 0.5 gigabytes of VRAM, and as we can see, the total usage is at 1.24, which is pretty funky. So we're not using, not maxing it out in the menu at least, or the game at least thinks that we ain't gonna max out our VRAM. Then we've got the texture filtering quality, which is set to medium, trilinear. We've got the mesh quality that is set to low, and then we've got some ray tracing options. All of them are enabled here, as you can see. And then we've got ambient occlusion, which is turned off, SSR off, volumetric lighting off. Basically everything's off. The textures and streaming budget was a little something. there, but yeah. Then again, subsurface scattering of shadow quality low. It looks pretty freaking bad, this shadow quality that is, but we just can't bump it up, because we ain't getting that good of, I mean, spoiler alert, but we've got some troubles with this game. That's what I'm trying to say. Not that it's unplayable or anything, but you're gonna see the results, of course. Now, the contact shadows, I was about to say, of shadow cache on. I mean, this option even helped me in, a Resident Evil 7. So, and when I, chose the recommended or the low performance priority thingy in the presets, this thingy was turned on, and I just kept it at, that setting only, that is on. Bloom is off, lens flare is off, and film noise is off. Depth of field is off. The lens distortion though is on and is set to chromatic aberration. I mean, unlike many people, I like this effect. I don't know why, but yeah, I do. That's all about it in the graphic settings. Let's move on to the gameplay. Okay, so here we are, back again in Ethan's body after Resident Evil 7. Waking up just like we did in Resident Evil 7. Okay, look for Rose in the castle. That's the main objective. Rose being the daughter of Ethan. Fireplace. Wow. That's a glass right there. And a bed. We're in the bedroom. Or the bed chamber as they call him, in those times. Okay. Gigantic glass for the gigantic lady. His name, of course, like everybody else, I cannot pronounce and cannot remember for the life of me, the pronunciation that is. I remember the name is like Dimitrescu, yeah, but I can't remember the pronunciation. Look at the dress of her. I mean, I was like, wow. I'm like fascinated with everything related to her. She's just a freaking awesome character in my opinion. And we've like gotten the teasers, the art and everything. Of course, we've seen her in action in the videos, but we haven't even known her character or anything, or how she reacts in certain situations. But everybody, I'm obsessed as well. Okay, so these are the maidens of, I don't know what, I missed that while I was thinking about lady, I don't know what her name is. I mean, how to pronounce her name, of course. Let's just get above the fact that we can't pronounce her name. So we got in this freaking tunnel. Now, as you can see, while we're going, okay, some rats. While we are going through this, teeny tiny area, there was no, FPS problem or anything. But, you're gonna see something's gonna happen in the future. We've got some crafting material. I don't know how are we going to use that. Okay, a mother and a baby. Okay, and from her finger we got this maroon ring. Was it a maroon ring? Yes, that's what I think it was. Look at the knight in front of us. That thingy reminds me of the Amnesia knights, I don't know why. I mean, of course, they look pretty similar, but of course, these knights are not only related to Amnesia, but that is a uniform. Anyone could have it. And of course, Amnesia included them in their game, and now here we have him in here as well. So we're looking for Rose, and we're looking for something. No, we're looking at something that is something. Okay. There's nothing to insert there. Come on, man, move on. Okay. Mask the angels, blinded gaze. Okay, and only then you will be saved. The angel's gaze. And we've got all kinds of statues around here. Now the FPS, as we can feel, is not that funky at this moment.
Oh, we meet again.
We meet again.
Duke, why are you here?
Where there's coin to be made. And have you found your daughter?
No.
If she is truly here, the lady of the castle would have kept little Rose in her private chamber.
He's gonna pronounce her name.
Would she not?
Dimitrescu?
Yeah.
The very same. Why don't you take
Dimitrescu.
Maybe you'll get lucky. And speaking of looking, care to make a purchase?
Okay, so what I'm gonna
If
do
it's
here.
just looking, window shop away.
is get a freaking shotgun and get some ammo for it. We're gonna sell the glass that we just got from Demetresque's room, I suppose. And when I was talking about the game not running with funky FPS, I meant like below 60. Now we are in the 30s, 40s. It feels like, you know, the feeling of the moment of the everything. Yeah, that's what it feels like. And of course, I can do with 30 FPS, bro. And of course, and in
Please come again.
I can do with 30 FPS as long as it does not fall below that. But let's see what happens. Some notes there, which I didn't bother reading. I just, you know, stopped for a second there, just for the video. So there's a hole for something skeptical. I don't know. Okay, back in the main area. There's another area in here. Okay, this random freaking portraits of people. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Okay, door on the opposite side. I think I've seen some of these portraits of these guys, you know, in Resident Evil 7 as well, but I don't know. Maybe they're just the developers or something. I don't know. They do this kind of stuff, you know. I mean, all the developers do this kind of stuff. Adding in their, you know, personal thingies. So here we are in the daughters, or all the three daughters' room or area. You know, the daughters Bella, I don't know, Bella and... I failed to read all of them. Okay. We're gonna meet one very, very freaking soon. Got some ammo there. You know, you've seen those, you know, three ladies in the black that are Demetresque's, I don't know, I think I effed up the pronunciation. We're gonna just call her the lady. So her daughters who are in the black, these ladies are those ladies, you know, that we just saw in the photograph or the painting rather. These are those ones. And it's a pity and it's been a few months. There was a news about, you know, news article in the PC Gamer. Of course, it was a gaming news, that the actress behind, you know, these three twins, the black clothed Dimitrescu's daughters, the lady who, you know, did that thingy for the face capture or whatever, she died. That was pretty sad. Okay, so here we are in this room again. Another cup. Now this one's got lipstick on it of the lady. We can use the, you know, knife if we, you know, do the right click thingy. Ethan goes into a different stance, you know, defensive kind of stance, and hits a little bit differently. Everything's freaking locked. Wow. Paintings everywhere. Night, there you go. Amnesia's night, I'ma look at it. I don't know, it just does not get scratched. The knife does not interact with that. You unlocked it. Okay. This is just a freaking gate that we saw from the other side, so no big deal, you know, the daughter's room. The daughter's room, okay? There are 3 daughters in total. Here we are. Let's go. Upstairs, baby. Man, I love the atmosphere of this game. And of course, like, this is Resident Evil freaking 8. And it's running on a 750 Ti. And so far, it's like running freaking butter smooth, basically. You know, of course, I've said that it's not running at 60 FPS, and of course, you can feel that. And though, it's not dropping below 30. At least it does not feel like it. I don't know about the FPS because I didn't have the FPS counter on. But of course, before playing this, I had the FPS counter on and played the same area. Of course, because of your results that we're gonna see at the end of the video. But from watching this gameplay, I cannot say that the game has dropped below 30 so far. It's looking pretty freaking good, actually. Now, something's gonna happen. Very freaking spoon, yeah. Very freaking spoon. Something's gonna happen. And it's gonna mess stuff up, basically. There's one error with this freaking castle area. Error or problem with this castle area. I don't know if it's about the optimization or whatever. Or maybe it's a VRAM. I don't think it's a VRAM. Everything's running fine. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just wait and see. Breaking stuff, collecting everything. I don't want to miss anything, in this demo. Okay, so let's just put the eye in. We've got the eye. Boom. Yeah, that's where it is, in the ring. Now here's my theory. You see this thingy? I'ma, wait and look at it. Now this white lady we can see is the lady, and the three, babies we can see are her daughters. I don't know. Maybe it's just the, same kind of case. Okay. I'ma hold myself there. Somebody's coming. I'm gonna continue the talk, after this.
I haven't cut open a man in a while.
I mean, I love her dialogues, but look at the frame rate.
Let me string you up.
Look at
Slice
this,
your
like,
jugular.
slowing down of the game. Look at it, bro. Look at the performance right now. What the hell is up? What the freaking hell is up?
Alive, dead, which would you prefer?
Bro.
You will look wonderful mounted in our hall.
I love a voice lines, that is. You will look wonderful mounted in a hall. Wow. Vicious, absolutely vicious. Okay. You see, right? You see the freaking frames per second right now. It's just not playable at all. Okay? She's coming! She's coming, bro!
I can't hold back any longer.
Well, that's what she said. Okay. So, there we go. And boom. She's out of the scene. The frame rate, look at it, just look at it. The frame rate is back. What? Yeah, that's what the issue is. Whenever the daughter or the lady herself, which you're gonna see in a sec, appears in the scene, things get effed up in the frame rate department. I don't know what's wrong with the giants of this game. Look at it. She's about to come. The lady, that is. And the frame rate is messed. You see her? You see the legs, right? Yup. That's who she is. The lady. The lady of the castle. Whoa. You see her? You also see the freaking frame rate. It's like messed up. As soon as any big girl appears in this game, the frame rate gets destroyed. At least for the 750 Ti. And I watched a little bit of Santiago's stream, after recording the gameplay and all. And I think this thingy is happening in bigger cards as well, but the frame rate is of course not getting destroyed. They're getting stutters and everything in the 1650 supers and everything and all, but yeah, the lady's gone through the door, and the FPS get destroyed when the big girls appear. Okay, stop looking at it. That's a man, I believe, in the figure, that is. Now, yeah, I saw Santiago's stream for a few minutes, and I checked out the bigger cards performances, and they were getting some stutters. Now 750 Ti was testing in the village area, so it didn't really test in this area. Now this is a puzzle right here, but I watched IGN's video, and of course I played this game while I was FPS testing, so I knew how this puzzle is supposed to be solved. Just pushing the fire thingy in the two. Okay, there it is, the hint, trust in the light, and that's how we get in. Now I've got like a lot of pointers that I have to continue. Look at this. This is some torture shit. Okay, so the game does happen to be acting a little weird when those girls are around, and of course in a 750 Ti it's happening like to the worst extent that we're like getting 10 FPS or something. So it sucks. It does not suck that much on the bigger cards because it's like a little stutter, lag, whatever. But on this one, it's a big trouble. Maybe they're gonna patch it out, and I hope they are gonna patch it out. I think there's going to be a solution. Now let's continue talking about the topic I paused a little while ago. I think on the door that was Lady Dimitrescu, and her 3 daughters, the 3 babies that were, I think that's what they represented. And it's just like the Baker family thingy. The lady and her daughters were all, good people, and something messed them up. I don't know what, but, something messed them up. Hopefully not Evelyn this time, because I think we killed her for good. And that was a spoiler for Resident Evil 7. I'm very sorry for that. Maybe we didn't. Who knows? Who knows? Now these people, look, this is another area, this is another demanding area rather, because we've got to fight like this many freaking, whatever they called, they're not zombies. Okay, right in my freaking face. But I like these, these enemies. They're like fucking strong sometimes. I don't know, they've got battle axes, swords and everything in their hand. Whoa man, these guys are like something. So what I'm saying is that this part is also kind of demanding, but the game is not going crazy, it's playable, quite freaking playable in this area. But whenever the big ladies show up, the lady or her daughters, the game goes nuts. The game goes crazy in the FPS department. And as you can see, in this area, the game is freaking playable, isn't it? You see, he's got an axe. He was about to swing it at me. There goes the pipe bomb. And that was a kind of a frame drop right there when the pipe bomb exploded. We've got some key items that are gonna be helpful in the game. Okay. This is the last one, I believe, and my aim's sucking bad right now. I'm trying to get some headshots on him, but it's not happening. You see the effects? The blood even gets on the freaking gun. I ain't gonna say the game's graphics are, I ain't gonna say they're the same from Resident Evil 7. Like, that is a heck load of improvement right there. Even on, 720p, the lowest freaking settings, I was seeing if, there's some kind of dismemberment like there was in Resident Evil 2, but there isn't. Though you can shoot their arms to get the battle axes or swords out of their hands, so that's something. That was a hell lot of enemies right there, these kinds, that is. Though the thing in this game is that we get something, after killing him, the currency or whatever. Sometimes we get herbs and stuff, so that's pretty fucking cool. That's what it is. Going upstairs. Okay, there's a door right there. No, you can't enter it.
I can't believe Cassandra caused
And here
all
she
this
is again,
mess.
and she's calling out Cassandra, her sister, for causing this mess. Now the thing here is, we don't know the girl that we, that was a hell lot of in the sentence, tackled a few minutes ago, if she was the same one as this one, or that was another one of her, sisters who has the same face and everything, twins, that is basically, but there are 3. So we never know who is the one we're tackling. Or maybe in the full game we're gonna know. Which tools do you prefer? Again, her voice lines are just freaking terrifying. And these, freaking flies, they are terrifying as well. Just like Marguerite had her, bugs and all. That's what kind of stuff this is. Now, right here, as you can see, I could run, but I'm just messing with her. You saw that when I shot her first, she just freaking teleported. That's her like special ability or something. Now she's kind of disappeared. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm like kind of playing with fire. I know where to go, but I ain't going. I'm trying to fight her, and I'ma regret it very freaking soon. Very freaking soon. Okay, squeeze the blood out when they're alive, and it's that much sweeter. You saw that? You saw that? She attacked me. Of course she did, you dumb idiot. What were you trying to do there? Okay, let's get to the cutscene. Enough of this, all this environment, all of these freaking torturous thingies, basically. And of course, the 10 FPS is the most torturous torturist, if that's even a word. Boom. That's all. Okay. So here we are in the verdict or results section of the video. So first off, we're gonna discuss the CPU and RAM usage. Now the CPU in my case was like on an average getting used only 40 freaking percent, 39-40%, which states that if you have a CPU that is even weaker than mine, so mine is Ryzen 3 1300X. So if you've got like 1200, of course 1200 and 1300X are not that different. Even if you have a CPU that is underpowered or less powered than the Ryzen 3 1200, but I think you need to have a 4-core one, you're gonna be good with this game, you know. It's like only using 40% of my CPU, so that's some awesome thing right there. That's funky, you know, that's the funky thing about this result. Now the RAM usage was around, you know, 9 GB, sometimes 10 gigabytes. But if you have 8 gigabytes of RAM, you just cannot do, you know, this game. You just can't do it. I think the game listed as the minimum requirement, they listed 6 gigabytes of RAM. I'm not quite sure. No, they didn't. I think they listed 8 gigabytes of RAM as the minimum. The other game's hitting like a lot more than that. It's like in the 9-10 gigabytes territory at 720p low, of course. Those are the settings on which I played. So I was getting like 10 on an average. I was getting like 10 gigabytes of usage on the, you know, system RAM, that is 16 gigabytes in my PC, and it was getting used up to the 10 gigabyte mark. So you need at least 12 gigabytes of RAM to play this game on 720p low, of course. At least. I don't know about the other resolutions and stuff. Now, coming to the GPU. Now, everyone's 750 Ti could be a little different. My core clock of the GPU is at 1215 all the way. You know, it does not boost or anything. I have not overclocked it or anything. And the memory clock of the GPU is at 2700 megahertz. So those are my GPU specs. Now the GPU in this game was getting used 99%, which is a pretty good number. We want to see it at 9900, you know, 95 above ideally. And it was getting used about 99% on average. So that's pretty funky. The GPU was getting used to the fullest. Basically, my voice is going nuts. Okay. Then the VRAM usage and the memory of your graphic card. On an average, we were using 1911 megabytes of it. So that means we were like pretty much using all of it. 2048 megabytes is the total, and we were using 1911 megabytes. So you needed minimum of 2 gigabytes VRAM as well. You cannot do this game without 2 gigabytes. You can't do it with 1 gigabyte or anything like that. That's what it is. Now, of course, it's 2021, and this game is done pretty funky, you know, based on the year that is going on right now, and based on the year the card came out. I think it came out in 2014, so it's been 7 freaking years, are you kidding me? And it's still running games. Okay. Again, it was never meant to be a high-end card from the very beginning, in 2014 even. Okay, now this is the final thingy, and we're gonna jump to the FPS results. That is kind of the most important thing for many people. Now let's get to it. Okay, the average frame rate we got throughout the whole demo in the castle part, of course, that's what we've tested in this video, is 48 frames per second. Pretty good average, isn't it? It's pretty funky. And of course, as we saw in the gameplay was all good. But you know, the troubles were in the part when the giantesses showed up. I think giantesses is a word, but I don't know. Okay, now comes a 1% low frame rate. That is the real result. That is 10 frames per second. Now, I'm quite sure that Capcom is gonna, introduce some, optimizations to the game which are gonna improve this thingy. The 1%, that is. Of course, we're getting 48 frames per second as average, And as we saw, the gameplay was good, even in the fighting section when we were fighting those, battle axe and sword zombies or whatever they're called. I don't know, I haven't, I probably am not going to get my hands on this game for a long period of time, and I think by then this game will get those optimizations, and please God, give me a new graphics card, please, please. Okay, so I think Capcom is gonna do some optimizations in those areas, because even the bigger cards are somewhat struggling, stuttering and FPS dropping or whatever, as I saw in Santiago's stream. So that's something. I think they're gonna improve it, optimize it, and maybe we can get a playable experience on this card. Who knows? Now, that is all about the performance. I just want to tell you that you should also check out my other video on this game only. We're gonna post it a little bit later than this one, and that is going to be the test of the village area of the game. Let's see how that goes, see how that goes in the video. Now, about the explanation that I was talking about in the initial part of this video, the delay in the demo or confusion in the demo's release date. Let's talk about it. If you've got what you wanted from the video, you can leave the video. If you want to know about the confusion about the release date and all, I don't think many people are going to be interested, but I just want to tell about it. Let's go.
Caused all this mess.
So here is the page that Capcom, basically it's a screenshot of Capcom's webpage, which shows, now first off the show, playable period is 2nd May 2021, 0 AM UTC to 10th May 2021, 0 AM UTC, of course. Makes sense. Today is 2 May 2021 and 0 AM in my country means 5:30 AM, IST that is. Makes sense, okay. But I read that earlier as well before downloading the demo. But as you can see in the bottom, it says Steam 30th April 2021 0 AM, which in my country means 30th April 2021, 5:30 AM IST. Now I was like, if the Steam date is like that, and I of course read the top one, but I was like, maybe it starts on other platforms a little bit later or whatever, or there's like different things about different platforms or whatever. So if you've given Steam down there and given the timing is date as 30th April 2021, I expect the thingy demo to release on 30th April 2021, or at least you should have mentioned in the bracket out there in the under the Steam section that it is the preload date or pre-download date when you're supposed to download the game only, but the game's gonna work on 2nd May 2021. I think there was an issue in their delivery, of the message, as you can see right here. But of course there was some audience trouble as well, like people like me, and I saw a couple of other reviews on Steam. People were like, why isn't the game working on 30th April? Of course, it wasn't supposed to work back then. So it wasn't working. A little bit of mistake by the developers, a little bit of misunderstanding by us. Of course, the message was not that clear. As I said, they should have mentioned it. It was a preload date. I mean, mistake on both parts, theirs and ours. So that's what it was. That is an end to the video.